All right, we'll talk to Neil Strauss next. What is Neil
Sitting
promoting?
on each other's laps?
Emergency, right. The book will
over
save
there.
your life by Neil Strauss. I read one of Neil's books, or a book that he was, what's the word I'm looking for?
Co-author?
Ghostwriter.
I don't know if he's a ghostwriter or if he put his name on it.
I'm not really sure now, but Motley Crue. Dirt. The best rock and roll book I ever read. And I've read a bunch over the years.
And Jenna's life
Better
story.
than Hammer of the Gods, my friend.
Really?
That Dirt book by Motley Crue was amazing.
Oh, yeah.
I
didn't
didn't
read
like
that
it.
one.
There was too much negativity.
Amazing.
I've looked at the cover of so many books, and this one is good.
Yeah, you don't
See, I'm implying I don't read.
I understand.
Although this book is very frightening. I'm afraid if I touch it the wrong way, I'll be arrested. False alarm. It's a little emergency thing.
It
It's a
feels
little
like you
fire
could actually
alarm.
pull it down.
Yes, it does.
Very good artwork.
Yeah, it's a nice cover.
And look, even the scratch marks, because that's where, your nails would go if you were
Well,
to
that's scratchy.
Oh, wait, my book's just scratched up. Is yours scratched up?
Yes, it's
Do
part
you know,
of the
I'm
cover.
such a fucking dummy. I actually thought that was just a scratch on my book.
No,
Yeah.
it's textured. The whole cover is
Yeah.
textured. It's very nice. Good for
Oh, comics are in here.
you. What?
Comics.
How a can of beer will keep you warm. See, there's a whole bunch of stuff in here on
How to escape
How
a
to-
mob, how to survive cold weather. We got to talk to this Neil Strauss guy, I'm thinking.
You know what though? 99% of these can be solved with a gun. I just know it because I'm a gun advocate. Boy, that NRA, they got me hook, line, and sinker.
Yeah,
They
great.
know I'm Mr. Check Sender. I got more junk mail from them, and then I'm ready to throw it away, and I go, I'll just write them a little check
Sure.
to help the cause.
Every newsletter used to, they're trying to take the guns out of the hands of our babies. Well, fuck that.
Well,
Here's a
fuck
check.
that. Guns for the babies, and I sign a check.
Yeah.
Send it off. I don't care. Guns for the retarded. Yes, indeed. Make them put the grip on the barrel end. Eliminate the problem. Here, you hold it this way, dummy.
Can I piss first? I have to pee badly.
Oh!
All right, yeah, we could do that. Neil, could you wait a couple more minutes?
Where's Neil?
Neil, you want to be here?
Where is he?
I don't even know.
Where's Neil?
You're not Neil.
You're not Neil.
You're not Neil.
You're the intern that looks like a dog
work
from the
here.
dog show.
And we still haven't gotten the dog that I'm talking about yet.
He
It's a
kind
very
of
rare dog.
looks like the mortgage board kid that used to do the Underwood deviled ham commercial.
Oh, Reese.
Mason Reese.
Mason Reese.
But with Danny Bonaducci's hair from the Partridge Family. Like you get that Danny Partridge hair.
What about the old school Jack Osborne in there, too, though?
A little Jack Osborne because
Old
of the
school
glasses.
Jack. And the long hair.
Yeah,
Jack
the
used to
glasses
grow
and the
out
long
the
hair. Yeah. You ever think about cutting that hair? Not
Why
that
don't
I
you
want.
talk into a
Microphone.
Get on a mic.
You
It's
probably
radio.
get a
What the
chance,
fuck?
You're going to talk into
Talks to
thin
the
air.
Yeah. You were gonna what? And then what happened?
I was thinking about cutting it this week.
Really?
Yes.
Short or just a trim?
Weighing my options.
Yeah. Well, oof.
Yeah.
A few jokes there.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, options. Okay.
All right. Neil Strauss is waiting, so we got to go. Sort of that.
Yeah, it's sort of like a sheepdog.
It's sheepdog, that's it.
You know,
Yeah.
but there's a dog out there. Someone could help me. Dark brown hair, that long hair that falls over the face, kind of like not
A cockapoo.
not flat hair. It's kind of like wavy. But
Yeah.
a lot of it,
Almost looks like a retriever kind of a face.
kind of like a cousin it type thing.
Yeah.
All right, Opie and Anthony, Neil Strauss next with this emergency. This book will save your life. We want to talk to him.
He wrote one of my favorite books of all time.
Dirt.
No, The Game.
The game. He wrote the game.
He wrote The Game about the pickup artist. It's one of my favorite books
Oh, yeah?
ever. Yeah.
Then why the fuck is he sitting there waiting?
Because we have to.
I have to tinkle, and nobody
yeah.
came in to tell us that he was here.
All
he's
right.
gotta
I was
tinkle.
busy.
All right. Opie and Anthony. Where's Neil Strauss? I want to talk to this guy.
Come on, you rock.
The book is called Emergency. This book will save your life. Neil Strauss. New York Times best-selling author. Hello, sir. How are you?
Hey, what's happening?
Welcome
There he
to
is.
the Opie and Anthony Show.
What's happening?
Don't be scared. We're all right. You all right?
I'm not scared.
All right, good.
Something tells me he's not scared.
I can tell.
If you write a book like this,
Did you really help write Dirt? I know we're going to talk about the new book.
We can talk about whatever. Yeah, I spent 2 years on the road with Motley Crue writing The Dirt.
That is awesome.
It's a tough living, man.
And I'm not even kidding. It was my favorite rock and roll book of all time, and I try to read a lot of them.
No, I can't believe we got that done because those guys, like, they're always warring and fighting, and they did like everything to sabotage the book.
Really?
Like one point, like because those guys, like one point, Tommy was fighting with Nikki.
Right.
He called me, and then he was fighting with Pamela, and he called me up. He's like, I don't want Pamela's name in the book at all.
Right.
And like, we're not going to have a book without every time. And then like Vince didn't want to take part in the book. It was like every time it was like pulling that book out of those guys. But it ended up great.
Bands?
It's going to turn into a movie
Just
now.
Can't fucking get along.
Well, a relationship with two people started up. Someone with four is just ridiculous.
And they weren't talking whatsoever, so you had to you had to talk to these guys individually.
Yeah, totally, man.
Which made it cool because then you
Yeah.
got everyone's side of a story without them having to talk among themselves.
Yeah, it was funny, man, because like some of those guys didn't know like other members of the band had slept with their wives and girlfriends.
Wow, really?
Yeah, and we had a rule when we did the book, like you can't look at anyone else's chapters. You can't see what anyone else said. So at the very end, I showed them like what Tommy, what Nikki, what
Right.
Vince had said, and then they reacted to what they said. But I said you can't change what someone else said.
Oh, but that makes the other person go, oh, all right.
Exactly, man. And then they try and step it up and like get revenge in their chapter.
Right.
Did anything get taken out at all, Neil, that they had said? Did anybody like actually take something out and go?
No,
like,
man. No, we had a rule like anyone who I'll work with, like if you're going to take shit out, I'm not going to do a book with you. You got to put it all in there. That's why we called it The Dirt.
And that's why it's so good.
Yeah, but
because you're reading, and I mean, I was amazed. I'm like, I can't believe I'm reading this.
But it pissed. But then
This stuff.
Then when they did the tour, though, they would say these stories that weren't in the book, and I get pissed off. Like Tommy was talking about how they had a contest to see who could sleep with the most girls in a row without showering. And I think like Tommy won with like 25 girls in like 14 days or something.
But I read that. Was that in the paperback?
I think that was in his book afterward.
Or was it in
Tommyland?
No, I never read his. I read what's his name, Nicky Sixx's book though.
Maybe it was in Nicky's.
Oh,
Yeah.
the
Maybe it was in
diaries,
Nicky's.
Nicky's diaries,
which wasn't as good. Dirt was really good.
Thank you, man.
Really good.
Yeah. Now, the first time I met those guys, they got arrested. That was my first view of them. They were being like, I heard that they were being like arrested backstage, led away in handcuffs. I'm like, I got to do a book with this band.
Well, that's awesome.
For what?
For like I think Nicky kicked the security guard in the head, and like Tommy like inciting girls to nudity, which is kind of what he does.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, of course.
I think I read the book in 2 days. It was one
Yeah,
of those.
that's awesome, man.
One of those I just could not put it down.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Was that the book? Actually, I think that's when I read where Vince was talking about his daughter's death, and it got pretty heavy with Vince's
No,
stuff.
it was heavy. I remember like why he was telling me. They were like, it was like basically Vince is really good between beer 3 and beer 6, and so we're at the theater room. It's like the cigar club, and he's telling me, and literally like we were like tears in my eyes, man. It was like heartbreaking.
Yeah, he's had that's a rough one, man.
Yeah.
Really rough, obviously. And you also talked to Britney before she broke down?
Yeah.
We're leading to the new book, don't worry, but you got a story to tell here.
No, there's actually the story's kind of continued in there because I did this book called The Game that
that Jimmy loved.
that Jim was talking
One
about.
of my favorite books ever. It fucking inspired me as an average schlub to realize that, like, I know the message wasn't that women are dumbbells, but goddamn it, you really think like I could fucking pick one of these idiots up, and the methods work.
What do you mean by idiots? Is like a
hot chick, yeah.
Right.
No, it was like life changing for the guy who would go through like 2-year dry spells in New York to actually realizing, man, all I have to know is like figure out how this attraction thing works, and I can push those buttons. And like as a guy who can't compete like Jim with like the quarterback, good looking guys, like to go out there and like run rings around. It was pretty fun.
Give us a couple little things here. Because I didn't read the book, but I'm sure there's listeners out there going, come on, help me out.
What do you want to know? Ask.
Like, what's the method? Because like, one thing that I noticed, like he rates like social relevance. Like women judge you on different things, and one of them is social relevance, which is basically how other men respect you. What's it like?
Yeah, it's social proof. Here's the deal: if I ever walked up to a woman, right, and I started a conversation, and she was cold or did I have to go to the bathroom thing, I just go, no problem. I go to the bar, I find someone who maybe is slightly more attractive to her, talk to her, say, let's go make some friends, put it on my arm, walk back to the girl, and this time it opens beautifully. Yeah. Because when a guy walks in the bar, he looks at the hot girls. When a girl walks in, the first thing she looks is at the hot girls, then she looks to see what guys they're with.
She looks at the competition, right?
Yeah, because in other words, if she knows you're with a beautiful girl already, you're pre-selected. That other girl's already done the screening.
She's done the research, everything else.
Right.
Yeah,
and so
you're a winner.
Exactly.
But the guy Mystery got like a bad reputation on the show. A lot of people didn't like him because they're like, what's with the hats and all the weird stuff. But he's just like a regular dude who bangs strippers. I mean, he's a guy who lives banging hot chicks.
Right. His whole thing was like, there's a line that Marilyn Manson used, like, if you act like a rock star, people will treat you like a rock star. So in that small world of the club, no one knows what the outside world is like. But in that club world, if you kind of stand out, Like if you dress silly and you're alone in the corner, you're just an asshole. But if you dress silly and you're surrounded by women, you're someone people want to be with.
It's like, and negging chicks was always amazing to me too. Like he talks about negging girls, where if you kind of goof on a chick or if you shit on her, and I saw this work, and this is what made me sick. There was a girl I was dating at one point, and we were just very casually seeing each other, and I watched a guy neg her in front of me, and it worked. Where he walked up and just offered her gum randomly. Because then the chick will think that her breath stinks.
No, here was the craziest shit, and like I don't really talk. This isn't even in the book because it's like so hardcore, and there just wasn't room for it. But if there was, and this is like horrible, whatever. It's at this show, so we can talk about what we want. So no, I noticed like there was a girl who was like really beautiful and untouchable. If I could make her hate me, if I could actually make her not like me, like really get pissed off at me and chew me out, and then I could win her back, like she was mine.
Well, how do you make a girl hate you? Because I would probably do that
so
and get her
easy.
to walk out.
Like
just grab her tits.
Right. But I mean, I can walk you through it if you want.
Yes.
Okay. So, I mean, say I was talking to someone and be like, oh my God, that's retarded. You're so retarded. Or is your hair real? Or whatever it is. I'd say one of those things. And maybe I'd like cross a line and they'd get pissed off. They'd be like, you know what? That's rude. You know, that's a rude thing to say. That's not a word you should, you know, and they chew me out. I'd say, you know what? You know what? And you never apologize, by the way. I would say, I'll tell you what, I was raised in a home where teasing was a form of affection. My parents, like, they would never say I love you. They'd say, you've got a Roman nose. It's Roman all over your face. So if I'm teasing you and you know, maybe I did go too far, but I'm teasing you, it's just my way of showing I'm comfortable with you. And they'll sort of listen to the story, and then you win them back and you say, you know what, I'll tell you what, let's start all over. I'm Neil. What's your name? She tells you your name. And then we go, you know what, we're sort of like Bruce Willis and Sybil Shepherd in Moonlighting. And it reframes that kind of tension as sort of sort of attraction. And it's weird if you can win them back and make them hate you, then like you, take them through that emotional cycle. They'll like follow you around all night.
Does it actually work though? I mean, it sounds like, all right, that sounds like practical advice, but would it actually like work? Because
here's the thing: when I did this book, The Game, like I didn't know any of this, and I sought out like the world's greatest pickup artist, and I just took their advice. If they said do this, I would just do it, and that's how you find out. Because half the stuff is counterintuitive. If we do what we want to do, which is like buy someone a drink, be really nice, and say I'd like to take you home, it's just not going to happen.
All right. So Britney Spears.
Yeah, that was a long tangent, wasn't it?
What?
That was a long tangent from the Britney Spears.
No,
question.
but not at all. No, it's fine.
It was a useful one, though.
Yeah, no, it was good.
If we can help some guys get slapped out there, that's a good thing.
Some good advice.
Everyone's going to totally do this all wrong. And it's all my fault.
That's exactly what I was thinking when you were describing.
Don't do this unless you're
some
serious.
guy's going to just do it all right. All
You've got to win her back. Listen, if you don't win her back, you're an asshole and you've ruined her night on top of that.
So your cunt smells.
Dude, I literally have never read through a book as fast. The Game, because it was a gift, and I read it, and I've never blown through a book or been so inspired by a book in my life, except for the ones I've written, of course. Those I
Oh well, Jimmy Norton's tome. Yes,
honestly,
authors.
I was
having fun together here.
I was living in L.A. at the time, and I was trying to bang this girl. She was a penthouse model, and she did softcore porn. And I was making tremendous headway with her, but then I fucked up and I let her know how much I like her and how much she was really in charge, and it blew the thing for me. It was fucking. I was so close to fucking this girl. It was so out of my league. I just wasn't.
Yeah, rule number one is never let a girl know you're attracted to her until you know she's attracted to you.
It was kind of obvious. We sat on the beach together. It was fucking awful.
Ew.
Man, I was the worst.
Did you have a little picnic?
You know where I fucked up though? She actually, because I got her number. We traded numbers, and I never called her. And she finally called me.
Right.
And then we went to the beach. She asked me to go to the beach.
Right.
So you have the upper hand. Solid. You're in.
She asked me to go to the beach, and where I fucked up,
Here we go.
we went out to lunch, went to the beach.
I love you.
Yes.
I love you.
I opened my veins in front of her, and I said, write your name in the sand.
But here's what happened. I'm going to tell you the backstory. I'm going to tell you the backstory of that you might not even know, because here's what happened. She was dating some guy. He broke up with her, and that's why she called you out of the blue, because she's like, okay, who's on the string? She called you, and she'd just gotten over this serious relationship. She wanted you as the kind of rebound sex thing, and you got too serious on her, and it scared her away.
Oh shit.
That's probably. She probably did feel my emotion. She couldn't even have wanted me as a rebound sex thing. She might have felt like, all right, well, this lump will do for a ride to the beach.
Right.
But I wasn't all over, and I know she fucking had some kind of a thing for me. But I think when I took her to dinner the same night. Like I made a whole afternoon out of it. There was something about it that turned her off, and she fucking wanted no part of me.
What was it? The blanket on the beach with the duct tape and the hammer. Might have done it.
Chicken is chloroform.
Things I like taking to a picnic.
Exactly. Here's biscuits, and here's a handgun, and here's a condom. Here's my apology for the STD.
Right.
That's really funny.
All right, so Britney Spears, you interviewed her, or?
Yeah, here's what happened. So I was writing the game. I was learning how to like kind of approach and turn a stranger into kind of a soulmate in 15 minutes. And so I'm doing this interview, and it's like really boring. I'm sure you guys get those people. They just say no, yes, maybe. They don't realize the questions are for them to like talk and explain a little bit. She just really didn't give a shit. So I'm talking to her, and I just thought, you know what? I'm getting nowhere. I might as well run this game stuff because it's worked on everyone else. She's just a woman. So all of a sudden, I just did it, like by the book. And as I did this little test where you kind of do this kind of ESP test, and she just kind of freaked out and flipped out. She thought she had ESP. It was fantastic. And then did
she have ESP?
No.
Wait, could you explain that a little further?
Yeah.
There's an ESP. You can make a girl believe they have ESP.
Yes.
Yeah.
Exceptionally sloppy pussy.
Did you just make that up? Or?
I did. Yeah.
That's pretty good.
Thank you.
Yeah. It's so stupid. It's not even worth repeating. But it's just like a little numbers. There's certain numbers people always pick out of a out of a set. So you do it first, and then you have them do it, and you write it down in advance. And then when they say the number, and you show them that they actually chose the number you wrote down, they're like, wow, we must have a real connection. Wow, I'm so cynical, man. What's going on with me? So anyway, so I did this thing, and she shut off the tape deck, and just started like talking and like unloading about her life and stuff like that. And afterwards, she's like, I'd kind of like to exchange phone numbers. And I kind of thought it was like maybe a trick to get journalists to like her and write nice things. So I asked the publicist afterward, and she's like, she's never done that before.
Wow.
And the weird thing is, after the game came out, and this isn't in there, it's actually an emergency, but like a year later, she actually like called me out of the blue, like invited me over. I didn't know if she was mad about what was in the game or whatever. And she invited me over. It turned out she like, read the game, and she wanted me to like write her book. And she had like a little crumpled up piece of paper with like all these notes about her life written in there about like sexually acting out and resenting the control of her parents and all this other stuff on there.
What kind
nice.
What kind of sexually acting out?
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know.
It was just like thought starters?
Yeah, they were just like her things that she wanted to talk about.
Right.
But
not examples, unfortunately.
No.
Oh,
You should have got it. You should have pretended to write the book and just got the.
Yeah, no kidding.
just get the info.
Forever with that information.
Yeah, exactly.
Why did you do her book? Because I mean, it's amazing like how she always looks like she's finished, and then she does a fucking album, and it's everything on it is in the top 10.
Now, how awesome!
She could pay
it's
for
crazy.
she could pay for the best people in the business, though.
Yeah.
I don't think she's been sitting around thinking up songs.
But I don't think I think her people just get these people together, and she just shows up.
Oh yeah, she just fit the suit.
Yeah.
She's Johnny Bravo.
Yeah, totally.
I'm serious.
Yeah.
She's got the look, and they do everything else for her.
Yeah, and that's why
she sucks at singing. We all know that.
Right. No, it's true. And that's why I didn't do it. It's because like her people had such control over her. Like she would call me afterward, and then they took away her phone. And not probably separate from that, but they took away her phone, and they had such control over her. I knew like if she was going to tell the dirt about like cheating on Justin Timberlake and all this kind of stuff, like they would not let it come out.
Really?
Like it would just be some whitewashed
everything. Or
thing.
try to anyway.
Yeah, exactly.
She's nuts, huh?
God, if you got a few minutes with her,
I think she's like
it's accessible.
What's that?
It seems to me if you have a few minutes alone with her, she's completely accessible.
Yeah, I think that especially like when I was doing the game and like you're in LA and you meet like kind of celebrities, it was that much easier because they're just so used to everybody saying the same shit, kissing up to them. If you do something interesting, teach them something about themselves, show them something there's a wider world out there than their little kind of insular bubble, they get really into it.
And she's nuts?
I don't think she's nuts. I think she's just like going through like a late emotional puberty. Like she just doesn't have a real life experience, and she's trying to get it. And she tried to get it. We were talking about this backstage. What do you call it? Whatever here. Green room.
Right.
So like I think the idea is like was totally controlled. She said, fuck you guys. I'm going to do what I want. She, her career went down the tubes, and they said, see, look, we told you so, and now they're controlling her again. That's my theory. Yeah. Why is Britney Spears so damn interesting? What is that about that?
Yeah, I know. Why do people just?
Because I'll tell you why. Because she was like this iconic figure. Everybody wanted to fuck her.
Right.
And then all of a sudden we saw her vag flopping out, and we're like, wow, that's kind of fun. And she shaved her head like Ozzy in 1981 and started beating on paparazzi cars with an umbrella. You're like, holy, talk about it. It was just kind of fun to watch her unravel.
And we want them to do that for some reason. That we want that to happen because we didn't get them. We want that to. Yeah. What's wrong with us?
I want to watch her being chased. I'm one of those guys. Absolutely.
Yeah.
She knows how to get attention.
We want to watch like pure things get dirty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's better than a girl you're dying to fuck shaves her head and uses an umbrella to hit a photographer's car?
That's fantastic.
A friend of mine has a theory. It was a really good theory about the drug test. It might even be one of the girls back there, but she was saying that she thinks that she shaved her head because she had to do a drug test. I don't know. But that's an interesting theory.
They test off your hair sometimes?
Yeah.
Or?
Wasn't there enough hair left over that they could figure something out?
It's probably hair somewhere.
Pull out a few
On the
hair
seat.
plugs.
Yeah. It's just a theory. I thought it was an interesting one.
Well, why would she have to take a drug test for what?
Maybe for the
kids or something.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's just a theory, by the way.
Kids are pretty important to her. I see Manson.
Oh, yeah.
Which Manson?
Marilyn Manson.
Oh, okay.
Oh, no, the boring one was.
And
Which
then Charles
Manson?
Wow.
Yeah.
Because it says, had a lot of fun with Manson. Stupid human tricks. I'm like, wow, you and Charlie have
Totally, man.
doing
was
some
a
human
stupid
tricks.
human trick.
Yeah, like
Look, I
cutting
can
them
make
off.
my ball bag into a cheeseburger.
Exactly.
You should have seen that Abigail Folger run
Yeah.
around.
Stupid human trick. This one wears its intestines on the outside.
Yeah, totally.
I figured it was Marilyn, but I was hoping for the against hope that it was good old Charlie.
Sorry to disappoint you, man. Yeah, no, like the band, the bands, if you're going to go on the road with a band, like a band that just got famous is much more fun than a band like Motley were fun, like 20 years down the line, they're not that fun anymore.
Yeah.
They're all dealing with like divorces and calling their wives after the show or, you know, or doing their separate rituals, whereas a band that just got famous are just like indulging in ridiculousness.
Let's rock! Yeah, they're
like,
just out of
giving
control.
girls like cereal enemas with like Fruit Loops and stuff.
You write for Rolling Stone,
Yeah.
right? Because you know the rock world pretty
Right.
well.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Did Marilyn Manson? I've heard he's kind of like a regular dude, like almost like a kind of a quieter, regular fella off, and that whole thing is just kind of fucking.
I could jump in. We saw him backstage at the River Rave in Boston. I couldn't believe it was the same guy.
Yeah.
Well, like that's Marilyn Manson. Couldn't have been nicer, and he didn't really have anything going on.
Nothing bizarre, right?
Nothing.
No, yeah.
Didn't have any of that makeup or clothes on either. It was strange.
He was naked.
He was completely naked.
Makeup or clothes. I like the idea of the new book, though.
Yeah, let's move
Tell you
on.
the
Oh, yeah,
truth.
totally. Yeah, we can talk. Yeah, so yeah, that was just basically.
No, that's great. You've seen a lot, my friend.
No, that was just basically being like stressed out by all the shit that's happened in the world in the last 7 years, and like not wanting to be a victim of like the stuff you read in the newspaper about the economy, about terrorism, about all that stuff. So.
Yeah, is this now? I've no clue about this book. Is this
Right.
done a bit sarcastically?
Like it's done with a sense of humor, but
Right.
But it started off serious. It started
off serious.
It started out like I hate what's happening. It started out like I want to get a second passport and get the fuck out of America because it's like going down the shitter.
Yeah, but then the whole world is, if you think about it.
Yeah.
And it's almost like God, what Bill Hicks was saying in his act that. You know, you watch the news and it's just a shooting and robbery and rape and, and you're like, oh my God. And then you look out your window and
Exactly.
there's nothing going on out
Yeah.
there. It's quiet. Kids are playing.
Right.
And, people think it's a little panicky
Right.
if you prepare
Right.
for some kind of emergencies. They think you're being paranoid.
Yeah, but you get that anxiety, man, because I got it and I was like, I don't know how to shoot a gun. You know, I don't know how to make forage for wild food. I don't know how to deal with anything real. I don't have a passport.
Getting water.
All my money's in dollars in the banks. Like, what am I going to do? So I went and made myself safe with every single thing I could possibly protect and do, to the extreme. But what was crazy though is when you talk to the people who the chief of police and the fire captains and the FEMA people, they say the same thing the crazy survivalists do, which is if an emergency and a disaster happens, they're like, you're on your own. And ask any rescue worker, their quote is we'll get to you when we get to you.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if the shit goes down, they're you can call 911 all you want, but 3 to 30 days.
People are very trusting in the government. They think that there's this all-knowing, all-seeing, we'll be there in a second kind of thing. With an emergency like Katrina, you just notice that that shit just doesn't happen.
Yeah.
You know,
They're not as prepared as you think they would be.
Yeah, and they're not going to risk their life to save yours.
Right.
You know, they're not.
Yeah, it just doesn't happen.
Right.
You look at Katrina though, and people think, "Wow, flood, we can handle it," and it kind of showed you how badly things can be handled from a government standpoint, or how fucked you can be as just a person.
Not even how badly it was handled by the government, because I think the government took a lot of blame for an act of God. And a bunch of people had this fake faith in the government that they are always there to help me.
Right.
And when you realize, no, you learn a lot from things like that. And I think if the same situation happened again, it would be handled a lot differently.
See, it went, and here's why. Go online and go to Google image search and look for the National Response Plan. National Response Plan, and this is how a request, if someone wants to make a request for help, how it reaches the president and how he activates the federal assistance.
Yeah.
And there's 50 friggin' steps.
Really?
I have to go through 50 agencies, and that takes days, man. You're on your own.
I think there'd be a show that, I think it would be something that would keep the government from being in so much trouble. Look, we're at least trying this time.
Right.
They'd fly people in somehow.
Yeah.
Maybe not do anything,
one good photo
but
op,
a good photo op, really.
Like a blue green screen of bush, and then just put something in the background.
Yeah. You just don't want to see people in little rowboats, drowning people, people stranded,
Bodies
and stuck.
floating in the water.
Yeah, that's the shit that freaks people out.
And they have the friggin' president take like 3.5 days to get there.
Yeah,
and then,
to even get there.
Not leave the landing field and talk about the fun he used to have in New Orleans. You're like, what the? That to me was like the trigger when I'm like, you know what, man, I'm going to learn. And like, I became an EMT. Like, I joined a search and rescue team. Learned to shoot guns, learned to fly a plane. I hang out with these billionaire guys who like are, saw this economy thing coming 3 years ago.
Really?
And, like, we're already like protecting all their stuff and getting all their stuff out of dollars.
See, I am called paranoid on this very show by the audience, by the show,
Right?
Because I do feel that at any moment something could give.
Yeah. See, here's the deal: you're only paranoid if you're wrong. If you're right, you're a genius.
Right? Then you were so prepared and everything. Of course, people with my penchant toward firearms, I get a lot of flack because of that. They call me a gun nut.
Right.
But I just like shooting.
Yeah, here's the thing. What's fascinating is when I research like kind of how people die, because I'm obsessed slightly with that as well. I just want to stay alive as long as I can. You get like one shot at this thing.
Pretty much what people do for the most part.
Exactly.
But
So more people, I don't know if you know this, but more people kill themselves with guns than kill other people.
Yeah.
Yeah, like more people are a danger to themselves more than like the guy in the
I was
street.
almost a stat this morning.
I should laugh. What do you
I'm
mean?
not even joking.
Right.
Our guy, he picks me up in the morning because it's easy.
Right.
I sat on his gun this morning. He forgot that he put it on the passenger seat.
No way, man.
And then I reached behind me going, what the fuck is this?
Right.
It could have went off.
it's a revolver, though.
What do you mean by our guy?
He's
our security
one of
guy.
our security
Okay,
guys.
and he's like packing.
Yeah. Oh,
Packing
wow.
heat.
Can you imagine like if it like you would have lived? It just would have been like really embarrassing to have shot your ass off.
Yeah.
You'd have like an ass shot, like a grazed wound because he was
right.
laying down in the seat.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got a lot of arsenal in this building right now.
Yeah.
So we love it.
So like, what have you done? Have you,
Staying
like,
on the arsenal.
have you prepared for like shit to go down?
Yeah, I do have kind of my biggest fear with what in my life right now isn't so much national emergency type thing.
Right.
It's crime.
Yeah.
I am really and especially with the economy going the way it is.
It makes sense every
Home
time.
invasion to me is something that is so preventable, yet when it does happen, those poor sons of bitches are in there tied up with their phone cord.
Right.
The daughter and wife are being raped, and the one thing the guy has to be saying is, I wish I'd had a gun.
Right.
Like, it's got to be the first thing that goes through your head is, if I had a fucking gun,
Right.
These guys would be taken care of.
Okay, man, here's a question. You have a gun, right? And you keep it in your gun safe.
Right.
So how do you get to the gun safe before the burglar comes?
Exactly.
Exactly.
Exactly. I have an answer for that. I fucking wear my gun
In his house.
around my house.
I got
Why wouldn't you?
I got my permits right here.
I got my concealed carry.
But people call him
That's
paranoid.
It's and then I of course have been boasting about my screening room. I have a little screening room downstairs. Watch movies down there. There is no emergency
Lowe's is
exit
little.
from this fucking theater.
Right.
There's one door in, and then you're in there and you're stuck. And I can't hear anything upstairs or anything if I'm in there. So when I'm watching a movie, I have the gun with me.
Yeah.
It sounds crazy.
No, I like your contingency planning. I like that.
I have a plan in bed, my bedroom. The door's locked. If something happened, I know exactly where to go to get the best cover to cover the door so that no one's getting in there without getting riddled.
I got
riddled with holes.
I got something for you that's going to change your life. You're going to love this thing. There's a dude in.
Remember of a good therapist?
I set you up for that one, did I?
Jimmy.
There's this guy named Kevin Reeve in New Jersey. He has a company called On Point Tactical. I took a course with him, and he teaches you the most badass shit, like how to escape from handcuffs, how to escape from duct tape, how to escape from how to pick locks with a soda can, how to hotwire cars, how to basically teaches this stuff so executives traveling don't get beheaded for being American.
Exactly.
So it'll teach you all the urban escape and evasion course. It's
that's pretty cool.
It's the coolest.
You should
shit
take
ever.
that.
I should.
You
gotta
have a
take
good
it.
time with that.
Yeah.
Is he in New York? Where's this guy?
He's in New Jersey. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, he said Jersey.
See, if you notice, I dress like a young Fidel Castro.
Exactly.
Everything I get is from 511 Tactical.
Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about.
I love 511. It's got like this. Look at it. It's a shirt with a holster in it.
That's awesome, man.
So you just, today, a nice 380 Walther fits there. You don't even see it.
You're actually a lot like Castro, except his politics were less radical.
He's a pussy.
We got Neil Strauss in studio just to reset a little bit. A great writer, and have we explained the book In general, not really.
I think we got the gen. Basically, it's just like.
Well, I just want to make sure people are
so the
clear
game's
on
the
it.
game's about like. About reproducing. This one's about not dying.
Right.
Yeah.
Not
It's
dying,
basically like, yeah,
emergency. This book will save your life, and people are like writing and calling. They want advice from you. But
Is this comedic, this book, or is it it's serious and it's kind of
yeah,
funny?
he said he's throwing some humor.
yeah, no,
around in there.
it's funny, but the how-to is between the lines, like the game.
You know
yeah,
what?
you know what I like about this too? This is a book like if I see a book even this big,
You get scared.
I'll go like, I'm not reading this. I get too distracted with computer and TV and Xbox.
It's true.
I just really do. This book, though, chapter by chapter, is just another thing to like survive from. So I would definitely put this on the back of the shitter.
Right.
And when I'm in the bathroom, I crack
what
that
Neil wants to
open
hear.
till I get hickey butt and I'm walking like a newborn fawn.
Yes, I will be personally responsible for your hemorrhoids.
Your chapters aren't long, which is good.
Yeah, no, I
that's
know.
the worst when you're reading a book and you're like, I'm just going to get to the end of this chapter, and you go 20 pages ago. Great.
Yeah, no, that's exactly
I
it.
hate that feeling.
Right. No, you're right for people with like short attention spans.
Right.
Yeah,
And you put in
I like that I can
illustrations.
just continue and.
But
you
your
know,
chapter
keep
titles,
reading.
I want to jump in here. The problem with gas masks.
Yeah.
What is that about?
That was like after 9/11,
Yeah.
everyone bought kind of gas masks.
Yeah, of course.
Like I was part of that panic too. And then I got them when I was running for the New York Times, and I called the chief of one of the fire guys to ask like how to use this thing, because you just get a bunch of pieces in the mail, right? It's like some Israeli gas mask because they're all sold out. And they basically said like it's pointless. Like a gas, like a lot of toxins they'll use will like absorb through your skin. Like it's only good up to a certain saturation of air. And
You need the whole suit.
yeah, you need the whole radiation. suit.
Yeah. Oh, that's funny. You were the gas mask guy.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
think I was too.
I'm sure you were.
Yes,
Oh,
I think I
5'11".
purchased.
Of course
I think
you
I
were.
purchased one of those myself.
Yeah.
I still got it
It's like
somewhere.
it's like just in case. We're just think of just in case.
yeah.
Just in case they
Right.
they scare the shit out of you.
Yeah.
These people.
But
I
it
don't
can
know.
happen. Like if
Ra-
it,
okay.
Yes, it can.
Raise your hand if you didn't vote.
oh yeah, did you not vote, man?
Is that bad? I didn't vote.
I don't know.
It is, right?
I don't know.
You could beat me up. What happened?
I don't
What's
know.
that about?
I don't know actually. I mean, I don't know. I mean, we're supposed to vote, and that makes us feel like we have some control over the political process. But
What if
really
you
don't?
didn't? But
I know.
what if you didn't like the choices?
Yeah.
Aren't you making a statement by not voting?
Yeah, that's true.
Because that's how I kind of spin
Yeah.
in my stupid little life.
You know what the thing is? They never really stressed growing up and earlier. Like I guess until really the 80s, I think. Maybe even later,
Right.
they never really stressed how inconsequential your vote is depending on what state you live in.
Right. Yeah,
If you're
totally
in New
true.
York State and you're a Republican, stay the fuck home.
Right.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
I didn't,
Yeah.
but
Save the gas.
I knew it was so useless
Right.
and pointless to vote. But you know, I did it anyway.
You
but
really voted?
I did. I voted for McCain. But I knew the Democrats would take in New York. New York State goes to the Democrats.
Right.
It doesn't matter how many Republicans voted
Right.
in New York State. It's just always going to go to the Democrats.
Is this sort of a futile way to make us feel like we have some power over what the hell happens?
It
in our
really
country?
is. It's
Yeah.
just kind of, I'm exercising my privilege as an American citizen. Democrats win.
Yeah,
See, this-
because they don't want us to really control the election.
No.
There's this group of guys they do something called PTs, and it stands for Perpetual Tourist or Permanent Traveler. And their idea is like, just because you're born in a country doesn't mean you have to live there. So they just like get a bunch of passports, get bank accounts all over the world, and they just like a shopping mall. The world's a shopping mall, and you get what you want from different countries.
Wow,
You know,
that's
maybe-
pretty
yeah.
cool. You
It's
got
a
to
whole
kind of
cool lifestyle.
You need kind of a
Starting base of
starting
money.
fee there. Yeah,
Yeah,
a little-
exactly.
Nice little nest egg to start out with.
Well, they're cheap ways to get into countries. If you like knock up a Brazilian woman, you can become a Brazilian, for example.
Oh, is that how it works?
Yeah. If one of your grandparents or parents or grandparents is Irish, you can get in there.
Oh, you can go
They're
into
like-
Ireland. Yeah.
Yeah, they're like shortcuts into.
I'm
going to
start small and just go to like Trenton
yeah,
first,
yeah,
and then
exactly.
branch out from there.
Yeah,
Dude, these chapters are 4 pages long. This
I know. I love
rules.
this.
yeah.
I'm not just saying this. 'Cause
Right.
most books we throw in the garbage and I pee on it.
What are you on?
I pee on
Never-
one guy's book in front of him.
Never
Did you-
drink from
Yeah,
a
yeah,
bowl.
yeah.
What is that?
What?
Oh, that's an important survival
Oh,
I
knowledge.
saw that, and I'm like, wait, what is that?
But
Tell me.
I just want to, and I'm being serious. I'm going to read this one.
Right. Awesome, man. Thank you.
Yeah, I'm
So-
not going to pee on your book.
These
you.
are actually better chapters.
That's a good compliment.
Do you know what book I've been toilet reading? Honest to God, my toilet reading book
Yeah.
has been fucking Bugliosi's book on the JFK assassination.
Really?
It's 1,500 pages.
Oh,
Oswald
fuck.
is still in 3rd grade.
Oh my God!
Jesus Christ. When you're late to work, it's because
It's also a coincidence because the inside the bowl looks like the back of the limo when Jimmy's done.
Nice.
That's hilarious.
That is very good.
I sit down, the next thing you know, the Stemmons freeway sign goes through, and there's a fucking prop in the toilet.
Look, you literally have like 80 chapters in this book, so.
There's no way he can get 3 flushes off on an old toilet.
Right.
Exactly. Look at that. The sound came from the grassy hole. Boo, Jim.
Boo. You keep going. No, you got at least 80 chapters in this book, so if we ask about a couple, that's not bad. I mean, never
cool.
drink from the bowl. We need to know.
That's important knowledge. Which
Yeah.
is this. That's important to know, which is if the shit goes down, you're on your own at home, you don't have water, food stocked up, you've got your hot water heater, that's got 40 gallons of water.
Yeah.
You can also drink from the back of the toilet tank.
Yeah.
But never drink from the bowl.
Never the bowl part.
Exactly.
But the tank you can. That water is very fresh.
You can drink that water, yeah.
It really is.
Although there is kind of an algae thing sometimes on the side of it, but
Yeah.
it hasn't gone. Once it goes past that elbow, that's where the
I know what you're
problem
talking
is.
about. I know what you're talking about.
Once it goes past that fucking elbow fucking trap thing.
So when your toilet bowl has that rusty kind of water in it, that's not good.
Yeah, no.
Not the bowl, yeah. Don't
Yeah.
drink from the
Why?
bowl. It's
Get a little-
good enough for
The
Rover.
bowl's like, exactly.
Get a little iron in your system or something.
Here's a great chapter title: Why You Should Think of the Zoo as a Restaurant.
Yeah, that was like there's this thing called
fantastic.
there's this thing called the survivalist sports where like all the hardcore guys hang out and they have all these kind of survival tips that'll like really blow your mind, like how to make a gun out of like paper clips and wood and stuff. And one of their things was like if the shit goes down, you really need protein. Go to the zoo.
The zoo,
Yeah, good hunting.
animals there. They've been taken care of for a while.
Exactly.
Yeah, good happy hunting.
Yeah.
You know how to make a zip gun?
No, I didn't learn how to.
My
you know
dad
that?
taught me how to make a zip gun years ago, a 22 zip gun.
Yeah.
And I first want to preface this by saying never do this.
Right.
Don't do this at home. It's very dangerous and it's illegal.
But here's
by the
how you
way.
do it.
But here's how you do it. It was with a car antenna. The bottom of an old car antenna seemed to be great for a chamber for a 22 round. And you would tack that onto a piece of wood that was shaped like a gun and put a regular hinge on the back as a firing pin, and put a spring on the hinge. When you click it back into the lock position and then flip the hinge, it smashes the rim fire on the 22 bullet and comes out the antenna.
It's insane.
Yeah.
Can
Yeah.
you kill somebody with that, or is it just?
Fuck yeah, it's a 22.
But it's a real.
It'll
It
kill
shoots
you.
like a real fucking.
Yeah, it'll shoot a 22 caliber bullet.
You know what's cool? Do you know how to make a
Again,
cigarette?
never do that. I don't endorse this, or I haven't ever told anybody to make one.
So forget what he just said.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Didn't
forget
happen.
it.
Jesus.
Do you know how to make a cigarette into a knife?
A cigarette into a knife?
Yeah, I
It's a
do.
prison thing. Do you?
Yeah.
Oh, wait, the filter.
Somebody taught us
Yeah.
that. Yeah, you
Yeah.
melt down the filter.
Yeah.
And then
and
hit
then-
it with a boot heel. You stamp it on a tile
You
floor.
can get a
or-
nice sharp point out
Yeah,
of it.
between two real flat things.
Like a
and stop it
razor.
hard.
Yeah, I know.
It's a
Who
prison.
told us that?
Probably someone who was in
It turns
prison.
into hardened
Bernard Hopkins,
fiberglass.
maybe?
I think it might have been Bernard Hopkins taught
I'm
us.
guessing.
What else did he teach us?
How to make grilled cheese in prison? The
Pocket
boxer was
pussy?
in.
Yeah.
No, the
Yeah,
pocket
pocket pussy. Yes.
All that was funny, but what was the one? It was an oven? Anybody
Oh,
else
right.
remember?
Right.
A microwave? Yeah, he taught us how to make a homemade microwave in prison.
No way.
Well, it's more like a toaster oven.
Well,
right.
Yeah. Gotta get grilled cheese.
It's the
on.
light
Is
bulb.
it like you take like some metal and you stick it in the outlets and? What do you do?
It was like
now I
taking.
forgot, to be
Yeah.
honest. with you,
It was the light bulb and the
yeah.
wires into the wall with the tin foil in a box. It was more like a toaster oven than a microwave.
No.
When he said microwave, I'm like, what the fuck are you doing? Microwave?
You know, the scariest thing is
That
like,
shit.
when you fly and they take away your snow globes because you can't fly with snow globes and all this other stupid shit. Like, it's so easy to make a weapon on the plane. Like, literally, like you have a knife hone. I walked through, they took a knife hone out of my bag, put it back in. You could get anything at the gift store and like make it into a knife. Not that I recommend that.
You're right, though. I that used to drive me crazy, too.
Yeah.
Because you look around, like, all this stuff could be used as something.
Once you get through security, there's enough shit laying around to make a viable weapon with.
Yeah.
I've noticed that too. Like just little
Restaurants.
things from the restaurants.
They're not
from,
giving you paper utensils.
yeah.
Yeah.
Even though that plastic shit could do some...
Yeah.
to the
pretty
trays
damage.
even. You know,
Yeah.
you go into the bathroom, that's your little workshop.
Yeah, and all the survivalist guys have your mindset. They want to be strapped when they're flying, so they'll take like a fighting cane with them, or like you said, they'll have like chopsticks that are like they can sharpen into an edge. They'll take all kinds of
It's
shit.
never
on the plane.
really safe. It's
Yeah.
that fake security crap.
It's totally fake. It's
That's
just
what
for-
we have to deal with. We have to sign into our own building. What are you stopping?
Yeah, exactly.
What are you stopping
Exactly.
that we have to be hassled every
Right.
morning?
If someone's following
you hear the
rules-
new thing? We have to actually sign in every morning before 7?
Because it's earlier than
What is
the
that about?
security
It's just a
thing.
hassle. They're
Yeah.
not protecting us.
Yeah.
Terrorists are very they're early to rise. So you got to sign in.
And they're gonna. Yeah.
Right.
Muhammad Atta used his real name.
Yeah.
Like,
Right.
No way, that's
all those guys did. They didn't fake their names. Here's my real ID.
Yeah, here it is.
So now you know who they are.
Yeah,
Big deal.
And the
but
best
they
way,
didn't know. They didn't know Muhammad Atta when he was using his real name.
Exactly.
That's the problem.
and you're making it so easy for the
Literal
terrorists.
Opie.
When you create rules, when you create a bunch of rules, all someone has to do is figure out the rules and a way around them. There always
Yeah,
is.
there's always a way around them.
You need security experts who have common sense and understand shit. Like when you fly El Al airlines.
Oh, yeah.
Like you
That's
know
a
nothing's getting
no-bullshit
through.
airline.
Yeah. Nothing's getting through because those guys, they know what to look for, what to watch for. There's no system. They just know.
And there's not a bunch of fucking whining idiots online going, why do I have to wait? Why? They'll slap you in the
Right.
fucking face of
Exactly.
the security guard. They know how serious it is.
Yeah.
And they don't care if you're offended.
No.
They don't give a shit if you're
Profile?
offended.
Yes.
Their
We're
motto
going to profile.
Their
Right.
motto is good fucking luck.
No, seriously.
They don't care.
Yeah.
What is probably the most important thing for a regular civilian walking the earth, or at least in this country, to know about survival? Like the most common problem
Yeah.
that might arise that you need to know?
Like, for real, the most because I get like I was really paranoid like you about all these things happening, home invasions,
Yeah.
and terrorism. But then I went to the government. I found out the facts of how people die, the biggest reasons why people die. So accidental deaths, by the way, every year this is kind of a bummer. Every year, every one of our chances of dying accidentally is 1 in 2,500. Like it's that low. And the number
okay.
one cause, you guys know the number one cause, right?
Got to be
Death?
Yeah, of accidental death.
Got to be
Cars, yeah, car
Cars,
accidents.
yeah.
That's obvious.
So here, like, if you really want to know the most useful tip, but it's not like the sexiest tip, is like, you know, like seatbelts. They tell you to wear a seatbelt, right? But they don't tell you how to wear your seatbelt. Because if you wear your seatbelt over your abdomen, all you're going to do when you get in an accident is you're going to crush your vital organs.
Yeah.
So wear it over your lap, because if you're wearing it over your abdomen, you're just going to hurt yourself and die.
Yeah, a lot of people do have it over their belly.
Yeah.
Like that. It's supposed to
But
go.
that's how it goes.
No,
No.
you tuck
What?
it down because your hip bones, your pelvis,
Right.
is actually supposed to.
Why do they tell us this shit?
Or else you just destroy. Yeah, you make fucking mincemeat out of your innards.
I've been driving about 10 years at this point.
Yeah,
you know,
with the
being,
thing up on- up
being
on-
a young lad I am.
Yeah.
Slouched down in the
Yeah.
seat.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's
So
crazy.
all you do is push it down so it's
Yeah,
more over
yeah,
the hips.
over your
Yeah.
hips.
Fuck.
Yeah.
Do you know the number 2 and 3 causes of accidental death? I was kind of surprised.
We all know cars.
I would say, God damn,
Drowning?
cars
No, that's like...
I know.
Having
yeah,
a
yeah.
safe fall on you.
falling.
Yeah, dude, it's falling. How
Yeah,
the hell did you know
falling.
that?
Because you know something,
Falling?
so many
From what?
fucking old people die of falling.
Right.
But yeah,
He's really good at stats.
Yeah.
His
Is
way of
that
figuring
it?
this shit
Yeah,
out.
Falling.
like, falling's it. And
Falling
then
from what, though? Just
either
Just
I don't
falling.
know if it's old people falling and breaking a hip or
Tubs.
something, or
Wow.
like people dropping off. I don't know.
Think how many times you slip and go, fuck, I almost cracked my skull.
right.
That happens when people do crack their skull.
Right.
So think how many times you do that. How many times have you gone down the stairs and done that? Your heel slips to the next
Yeah.
step.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
You're like scared and you start thinking, that would have been it.
Right, when you
Break
got
my
the
neck.
osteoporosis going, like all your bones are going to crack.
Yeah.
what's number 3?
Number
Wait, hold on, the guy with my new character is the guy with worst guesses ever. Turtle bites.
That'd be awesome. You tell me how to be that guy.
Strangely enough.
Yeah. No,
Turtle
take a
bite.
guess, and I'll tell you.
Number 3.
Wait, let's
Yeah.
think this over.
Accidental death.
Yeah.
Accidental death. Number 3. Let's see.
For
has to
$50,000.
be fire.
No, poisoning.
Poisoning.
Yeah, I was surprised by that one.
What?
Yeah.
Ah.
I don't know if it's like kids.
Oh, there's a
eating
big
shit.
drop off after cars.
Wow.
I'm thinking.
Yeah.
People poison themselves. Yeah. Wow.
How?
I think it's either on purpose or accident. I think a lot of it's most of it's accidental.
Does
poisoning.
alcohol count?
Yeah, seriously, I wonder. It probably does.
Yeah,
Food
I don't
allergies, maybe?
Yeah, food. Yeah, I bet food
Oh,
allergies. Yeah.
The deadly peanut. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow, that's fucked up.
Yeah.
So stay away from. All right, don't drive.
Don't drive.
No
don't
more
eat
driving.
things, and don't fall.
Yes.
Don't eat things or fall.
We're talking to
Okay.
Neil Strauss. Emergency. This book will save your life. I'm frustrated because every chapter I want to talk about.
That's
I know,
book is-
it really is good.
This book is like going to be huge for you.
I took a fucking ice spill on Christmas Eve out back
Yeah.
and cracked my elbow, and it's still fucked up.
'Cause you
And
broke
it was
it,
one of those
probably.
things where it's like,
Probably cracked it.
you know, that could have just been a skull, your neck,
Yeah.
Right.
Right.
something like that. So falling, that does make sense.
Did you get the hint?
No, I was
course
hammered.
not.
Right.
Hey, I probably would have fucked something up if I wasn't so relaxed. Nice and loose.
Chapter 29 out of about 80.
Right.
By the way, people don't appreciate the way we're selling your book by me saying, wow, the chapters are only 4 pages long. Cool. You know, we're dumbing it down for everybody. Why the government frowns on smiling?
That's just like a crazy thing because I had to get my ID, I had to get like background checks and clearance for like joining the search and rescue team and stuff, and like you just could not smile in a photo. They don't
Why
want
is
smiling
that?
in the photos.
Why?
I don't know. They're just assholes.
The government just doesn't like smiling?
Yeah, it's friggin'
Probably
weird.
changes your facial features. It makes you harder to identify. Do you walk around like this all the time?
Yes.
Smiling, or do you walk around just kind of straight faced?
And they did a survey of like they did a survey of travelers too, and like
McCann.
the travelers all over the world find like America the least friendly country to visit.
Really?
Yeah.
And we
this
say
survey
it's
came out last
like
year.
France.
Yeah,
It's weird.
yeah.
What's this world's friendliest Nazi? Life,
that's kinda
life
awesome.
advice from the world's friendliest Nazi.
does he mean? Anthony.
I work with them. Yeah.
We both couldn't wait to get in there.
Tripped over each other.
I'm a fan of the era.
Now you will like this guy. His name's Kurt Saxon. He's like the guy who coined the word survivalism. So I thought when I learned this shit, I'm going to go to the source and call this guy up. And once when I was working for the New York Times, I tried to call him. He didn't take my calls. So I thought he'd be an asshole. I called him up, and he literally was like the nicest guy I've ever talked to. And he's like, yeah, I was part of the Nazis. We had a lot of fun back then. We were just crazy kids.
Oh, yeah.
He's like, and then he talked about like he was like, I go, oh yeah. He goes, you should move to. He goes, you should move to Alabama. I'm like, why? He's like, you'll like it here. I'm like, why? He's like, well, there are no black people here. I'm like, dude, you're talking to, I'm writing a friggin' book, and you're gonna like, yeah, yeah. Like, so anyway, but he wrote these books called the James Bond Manual or something like that. But there are all these books about how to like booby trap cars and how to like create like basically how to like destroy the system. But they're great.
Yeah, it's almost like the anarchist cookbook kind of.
That's exactly like
yeah.
that. So he wrote all those back in like the 60s and 70s.
That's great.
Yeah.
Because I'm an OCD freak.
He calls me every week now.
Oh shit!
Because I'm an OCD freak, I was kidding about the 80 chapters. It's pretty much 80 chapters.
That's funny, man. That's
oh my
funny.
God, I was
It
joking.
really is,
I'm up to 67 and I'm not to
it
the
is
back
great.
of the book. It's like we end at 70 chapters.
I don't even
Not bad.
take books home from authors that
Yeah,
come
thank
in
you,
here
man.
and
I'm
stuff,
reading
but I
this.
so am taking it. It really is fascinating. It's right up my alley. This is exactly what I'm thinking on a daily basis.
That's
This
cool.
book is in my head every day.
We'll probably be talking about the book off and on for the
That's
next
cool.
week
I
or two.
thought we were going to talk about
Read
Motley
through
Crue the whole time. So that's cool.
No.
Fuck Motley Crue. They're never
Yeah,
going to
exactly.
bust into my house.
Exactly.
Tommy put his big dick in a taco. All right, fine.
I do have to watch Tommy by my pool.
Yeah.
Ouch. Oh, that hurt.
I like to read from time to time. Can you suggest a good read?
For real?
And don't even ask me any questions. This is a real good, solid book.
Yeah, I'm always going to go with fiction because, like, I don't know, it's just more interesting for me to read. Have you read Jim Carroll, The Basketball Diaries?
Yeah.
Yeah, do you like
Amazing,
that?
yeah.
Okay, good. So we're on the
One
same
for
page.
one.
Was that fiction or
Okay.
nonfiction?
Oh, you know what? It was kind of nonfiction, but almost
was it
read like
embellished?
literature.
Well, it was, yeah.
Well, I feel like I don't know if I want to believe it was not embellished.
Okay.
Yeah. But it reads like fiction. So let's see
Doing
what
heroin in the park and.
Oh,
God
Radical Jim is
damn,
piping
man.
up. You want to read fiction? The Warren Report.
Yeah.
Fucking shake up the system, man.
Or how about this?
9/11 report, man.
How about a newer book
Okay, newer book.
in the last few years? Because I go to the bookstore, I'm like, I don't fucking know.
Yeah,
and
you
there's
know-
no real good websites where you can really decipher
Yeah.
what's good and what's bad and what people are digging. And
What
there's
people-
nowhere to go to get turned on to good books.
BarnesandNoble.com?
No, because they're
Search feature?
You should try it.
Reviews?
Dude, I'm telling you, it's not that easy.
What
Because
do
they
you
all.
want? The 28.8 modem dial-up?
What I used to do, because I was when we got fired 2 years, 3
Days
months
ago?
Yeah, I was there with Jen.
2 days ago. I started this thing. I read close to 100 books in
Right.
2 years.
Really?
And basically, if I got in a cab, I'd ask the dopey cab driver, "What was your favorite book of all
Right.
time?" He'd go, "Blah blah blah,"
Yes.
and
Right.
then I go home and read that book.
Yeah.
The Quran? How many times did you read that?
Exactly. Yeah. And how many Jews it takes to make a ladder? I love the cab drivers in the city.
And most of the time, no matter who it was, could have
Right.
been a waitress, a cab driver, whatever.
Right.
Just walk of life people. 9 out of 10 times, it turned out to be a great read.
No, I take all
Without even,
recommendations. Yeah.
And they would go, "Well, what kind of stuff you like?" I'm like, "That doesn't matter. What
Right.
What was your favorite book?"
Right. So another one I do is that John Fante, Ask the Dust. Do you know that book? Do you guys know that book?
No.
It's like one of Bukowski's big influences. It was written like the 20s or the 30s, but it basically sounds like it's written right now. It's just about like a loser writer, like trying to make it in the world and just sort of like completely delusional. It's funny as shit. It's really good. It
that
sounds like it was written now. They did a movie with Selma Hayek and.
Holy shit! I just read about that guy last night. I was having deja vu. And then
Yeah.
that guy, he goes out to Hollywood. They make the movie with him, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was discovered I just read about this
Really?
guy. That's fucked up. And then
he's trying to pull some shit, ESP shit on you.
No,
you love him now.
Yeah, exactly. Me and Neil. Let's talk afterwards.
Tell me if I'm right. And then he was very successful. I think the movie won an Academy Award. It was up for awards. And then this guy became a nobody again, moved back to New York, became a bum, was on the street panhandling and all that shit. And then the director that discovered him the first time around was in New York. And he comes walking up to this director's car, and the guy's like, holy shit, it's you again, and offered him another movie. He said, fucking no. Turns out he ends up dead in some broken-down apartment in, I think, the Village.
It might be that guy. It sounds like his life. I don't know his whole life story. I know he's passed away. I know he's, like, self-sabotaging and that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Well, because I'm reading Heroin and Genius right now.
Oh, man, I would love to read that.
It's a whole book on...
Cobain?
Yeah, but the problem is that it's obvious the writer's a little older because, like, people you really want to read about, their section is like 2 paragraphs.
Right, it's more about, like, William Burroughs.
A lot of writers.
Right.
But it's A to Z, all these very brilliant people and their genius, and then how they fucking ended up dying.
I have a whole plan.
Deaths.
I have a whole plan to become a junkie when I'm like 78 or something.
There you go.
That's kind of cool.
You got nothing to lose.
Yeah.
I read The Road, by the way. Thank you.
The Road's that's a great recommendation.
Thank you, Lips Lockhart, Philly.
And that's right on topic of what we're talking about too.
Yeah, The Road was awesome.
Great fucking
They're
book.
making a movie with Omar.
Oh, Michael K. Williams.
He's in the movie. I'm not sure if he's going to be the star, but when he was
really?
talking to you guys, he was talking about
Did he say that?
Yeah.
It was a good book I loved, and I mean, we've all seen the movie. The fucking Godfather was a great book.
I never read the book.
I love the book. They give you more information.
Yeah, a
You
little
learn
more
about
insight
Luca
on some of the
Brasi,
characters, yeah.
Sonny Corleone's giant cock and how he had to find a girl with a giant vagina. Lucy, the chick he banged up in the... all kidding aside, gang. He banged this chick, Lucy, upstairs against... Remember in the wedding? He fucks Lucy?
Yeah.
The reason she fucked him is because she had a giant vagina who could take his big dick.
Wow.
Yeah, Godfather was really a fucking
Why would
winner.
Sonny then come off like someone that had something to prove? He had a giant cock. Should have had a little peanut weenie.
Exactly. It's
No,
not
he
true.
did. Well, that's
Being
why-
such a prick.
There's one scene where they're at the wedding and all the girls are giggling and she's making bigger and bigger gestures.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, really?
She's showing how big Sonny's dick is.
And then old Luca Brasi with the baby.
Oh yeah, in the book they describe
Oh, yeah.
how fearsome Luca was. He was so feared because he knocked up an Irish girl and he didn't want to spawn himself, so he threw the baby in a furnace. Like that was the
Wow.
story that no one could hear about Luca.
Poor little feller.
Yeah, Luca was a real laugh riot.
Looks a little different, huh?
Yeah, book was phenomenal.
Isn't
So I
Jaws
recommend
very
that.
different, too?
In Jaws, I don't want to give the whole thing away.
I love that he's read the book of every blockbuster movie.
Yeah, yeah.
But in Jaws, fucking the Richard Dreyfuss character actually fucks
Hooper.
Brody's
wife.
Really?
And he dies in the book. Yeah, so
Yeah,
no
yeah.
need to get it.
Have you read I Am Legend? That's another good one.
I've not. No.
Yeah,
Dude,
that's great.
I'll tell you why that book pissed me off, because I didn't know it was like a short story, basically. So I get the book for vacation. It's a nice size, like, little
Right.
novel, little paperback. I'm
Right.
on the beach. I'm rocking. Next thing you know, I start reading the next story from this author, and I was like 10 pages in when I realized, wait a minute, it's a whole different story, and I Am Legend is over.
Are you sure? Because mine is like a 200-page book.
It's
or
about
something like that.
100 and...
Yeah, it's short, man.
The I Am Legend is barely 100 pages.
Yeah.
Short story
and,
for
and
me
this
is
book was
8
like
pages.
240, 250.
Okay.
And I'm like, wow, that's so fucked up. The story has drastically changed. All right, but they'll tie it all together. And then I finally realized it's just
Right.
another story
That's
from
hilarious,
this. It's
man.
horror
Over, Jimmy.
writer. Right. We got Jay Mohr on the phone.
Jay Mohr!
Hey, Jay.
Oh, this is Al. I heard you talking about Sonny Corleone.
What's up, Al?
It's true what they say about Sonny. He had a penis the size of James Wood.
James Woods is known to have a huge one.
A huge cock.
Oh, of course. I used to step on it.
What are you doing, Jack?
I think I'm seeing you guys next week.
No!
What is that about?
I'm fine. Well, it's about I'm actually in New York.
Nice.
Oh, so you figured before
good.
Ron and Fez, you'll drop in and maybe see us for a minute or two.
For a
Well,
goof.
Ron and Fez don't get the in studio. Only the boys get the in studio.
You actually fucking made Fezzy cry yesterday, you know.
Bro, I say hello and he starts freaking out.
I know. There's something about fucking Jay Mohr that just makes poor Fez start crying.
We might be going a little inside, but it makes me laugh so hard because I'll tell you why it makes me laugh so hard. Because Jay doesn't know how to handle Fezzy's crying.
I know.
And Jay actually starts getting a little annoyed. Like, Jesus, Fezzy, what the fuck? I'm trying to invite you to a nice little weekend.
Yesterday, he told Fezzy that he was third mic on his own show.
Oh, yeah.
and Fezzy just was like, And then you hear Ronnie go, "What's the matter, buddy?
Yeah.
What happened? Did Jay say something that upset you?" And Fez is like,
Yes, he did.
Yes, because I felt that way sometimes, and I don't need that. And Jay's just like, "What's the matter with you? What the fuck is wrong with you?"
Jay gets so frustrated.
Jay doesn't know whether to talk to him anymore without making him cry. You're a bully.
Yeah, I'm a real bully. It's the first time in my life where I can actually say, like, I'm not really mean to anybody.
Right. You don't mean to be.
But Fez, like, for some reason, whatever I said, because I used to be really mean to everybody.
Right. Yeah, he has no
Now
idea.
I'm just like this, Siddhartha character, just rolling through life, just trying to get paid, my nigga. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah, stacking checks, breaking, whatever with the blacks. So, our president smokes Newports. What are you going to do? Neil Strauss, welcome aboard. It's ADD Radio. Okay. Ask the Dust, by the way, is a great book. It's amazing when they go into the woods and start building for no reason and drink too much wine, and they all begin hallucinating in the woods. Is that Ask the Dust?
Not sure.
Him and his father are, like, obsessed with making something, like a little...
No, that's something else, man, but that sounds good.
Oh, okay, good.
I should have played along and been like, yes, that's the book.
Yeah, that's exactly it.
Yeah, you're
What's the
you're
deal?
talking to the
What's
star
the-
of, Gary Unmarried here.
Yes.
Strauss.
Yeah, it's a big hit in the literary world. Gary Unmarried. Opie, one of the best book I read last year was Wally Lamb, This Much I Know Is True.
What is that about?
I don't know.
Wally Lamb is, a guy has a brother, like a twin brother, but his twin brother's, like, kind of special. He chops off his own hand in the library for Christ. So he has to go visit his brother in the mental hospital all the time, and it's just a whole family history. It's one of those books you're like, how is this guy going to tie all this stuff up?
Right.
Or, Penthouse Letters is good in a pinch.
Hey, what's that book? There's a book about a guy who has some kind of a weird disease. It's true though.
Jim Norton's.
It's not a weird disease. It was when Jenny Gump got it.
Happy endings. Happy endings.
Yes,
There you go.
happy
Happy
endings, huh?
endings. Yes, was a fine book.
Yes.
A real literary
Meaty breasted
sensation.
zilch. As I said, I'm walking my dog. I said that right when I walked past an older lady. A meaty breasted zilch. She's like, what did I do?
No, there's a book about a guy who gets a weird disease and his whole body shuts down. And honestly, God, he can only blink
The
his.
Diving Bell and the Butterfly. Was
I read
based on
that.
book.
What's it called?
I saw the movie based on it, The Diving Bell and the Butterfly.
The Diving Bell and the Butterfly, about a guy who can only blink his whole
Yeah,
body.
I read that.
Yeah,
Stop
it's-
it, and he
the
blinks
movie
the
yet,
book
but-
out.
Get out of here. He
Yeah,
blinks a
he
book
blinked the
out.
book.
Dude,
Yeah.
he was brilliant, this guy.
It must have taken forever.
Yes, the pen kept falling out of his eye.
How do you blink a book?
The book is really good.
To a nurse, I think, right?
Really
Yeah.
good, yeah. He
I think
learns
they had
how
a
to
system.
communicate by just blinking with one eye, and
Right.
he figured it out, and then he
That's
decided...
yes or no.
He decided-
That's yes or no book.
No, it was I don't know. It was she would point at all the letters, and when he got to the L, let's say, or she got to the L, he would blink like, okay, he wants an
Hey,
L.
hold on. Neil
This
Strauss,
thing-
you wrote the game, didn't you?
Yes, he did.
Yeah.
Oh, my God. You are awesome.
Oh, cut it out.
Jay, did you read the game? It's one of the fucking most inspirational books I ever read.
I love the movie. I never saw the...
The game. I like the rapper.
No, I liked it. No, yes, of course I read the game. That's why I'm like, oh, my God, it's Neil Strauss.
Yeah.
The guy about the game.
He also wrote Dirt, the Motley Crue book.
Not so much. But listen,
You just
I
haven't
get
read it. You just haven't read it.
what I want to know about the game, Neil Strauss,
Yeah,
is
Jim Mohr.
where is your chapter about taking out your dick and saying, what are we going to do about this?
Yeah, that is the Jay Mohr move.
Exactly.
It's a great move.
Yeah, that's for the sequel. That's its own book.
Yeah, you sit in the car and you just
Or
pull your
short
dick
story.
out and go, what are we going to do about this?
Is that really the move?
Yeah, that's one of his moves.
And how does that work for
That's
you?
Sonny Corleone. You knock out the passenger side window.
No, let's talk about it. There is a style that some guys do, especially people in Hollywood. I don't know why. There's some big producers who whip it out and kind of have a little line.
Hey, here
and
it is.
how often does that work? What's the percentage?
Depends on how far away you are from home.
Yeah.
Jay?
My wife was at a party like
Did he duck the
8
question?
years ago, 10 years ago, and Mickey Rourke was standing next to her in white sweatpants and a heart on. And he stood there with his dick like 2 inches from her face. And I said, you didn't get up there, did she? She goes, hell no. She just sat there and stared at it. I said, was it huge? Was it like smelly? She goes, it was completely average. It was just more like how beat his sweatsuit was amazed me. He had like the old guy at the club sweatsuit going.
God.
So Jay, I really want to know about this line. How does it work for you for real?
Yeah.
Me?
Yeah.
Well, I've been off the market for quite a while, Mr. Strauss.
Okay, so the line's a joke. You haven't done it before, is what you're saying.
Well, you make out with a chick, and you make out with a chick, and you touch her boobs and stuff, and then I sound like Sandler. You touch her boobs and stuff, and no, it's good. And you touch her boobs, and you're making out, and you try to get some, and it's not going anywhere, and then finally you just take out 8 inches of luscious stiffness. And you go, what are we going to do about this?
And then what happens?
She says, measure it accurately.
Yeah.
Stop using the metric system.
It's either the end of the relationship or the beginning of something fantastic.
Yes.
Yeah, because that would make sense. If you're not getting anywhere, it's a good last-ditch effort.
But there are other efforts one can take.
Yeah?
Like that's sort of like an all-or-nothing thing, and I don't like to take risks. I like to make sure it works all the time. So do you want to know some real tactics for?
Yes.
There's a word for that. It's called last-minute resistance. Last-minute resistance is like the way guys are scared to approach women, right? Mm-hmm. Women aren't scared to approach. What they're really usually scared of is that moment, that point of no return.
Yeah.
They're going to go to the point of no return. They get scared. There's a fear reflex, which probably is like evolutionary there from having babies or something. So anyway, there's the old school ways. Wash, rinse, repeats. Right? You kind of back up and start all over again.
Yeah.
Another way to do it is you beat them to their objections. Always, at any point with meeting a woman for real, you anticipate their objections. So you stop first. Be like, you know what? This is too crazy. We got to stop. You got to be like, you're trying so hard to control yourself. It's like, I'm trying so hard to control myself. You're making it crazy. You go around that side of the bed. I'm here. No more of this.
Well, that's good.
So
I'm getting horny talking to them.
You beat them to it. And then the third and kind of most powerful thing is called the freeze out. And this is like, if you've done these other two, they're not working, and like you're putting your hand on her shirt for like the third time and she slaps your hand away. You don't get into debate about it. You say, okay, cool, no problem. You flip on the lights. You turn off the music. You bring your laptop out. I have a friend, or that guy Mystery from the VH1 show, used to bring a chessboard out, and and you're not emotional about it. You're like, okay, cool, no worries. And once she was feeling good and having a nice time before, now it's all gone. And after a while, she'll re-engage your attention.
Pull out the laptop and start jerking off to internet porn right in front of her. Fuck it, I don't need you.
Dakota Fanning pictures.
She leans over. She's like, "What's tranny surprise?"
Exactly. Chicks with what? Well, that's right, sweetie.
Freeze out.
Yes.
Neil Strauss, in that situation, where do you stand on rape?
That
I'm in the carpooling at kindergarten. I got it.
That was a good transition. Nice transition.
Can I tell you the fucking... All right, Jay, take care, mate.
I love you, boys.
What day next week,
I don't know. I got to ask Jimmy.
Yeah.
Well, we got to start pumping your big visit up.
Yes,
Jay. We haven't
Well,
seen you in a
what do
while.
we had, Karen? Why'd you do that, Karen?
They would have found it.
Karen, don't tell Jimmy.
They were going to find it.
Hey, Neil Strauss, I'm going to see your ass later, and you know what the
That's
fuck
cool.
I'm
And I'd like to say that your technique is a lot closer to rape than mine.
Yeah, really.
Right on. All right, Jay.
Take care, buddy.
We'll see Jay Mohr next week.
Jay.
The star of Gary Unmarried. And we're wrapping up, too. Neil Strauss, Emergency. This book will save your life. It looks like you got 3 of us hooked at least.
Yeah, I like this.
We're all going to watch that. Read this, and the game and dirt and everything else.
Yeah, Neil, I've been a fan for a long time, and so I'm very happy you came in. And fucking, I haven't read this book yet, but I'm going to tell you, the game fucking works. I didn't do it like you did it, but those little weird things, freeze out, all that shit, like stop it when they're like, when a girl says something like, we're not going to fuck. You're like, nah, of course we're not going to fuck. You think I'd fuck you the first time? I don't even know you. And it really makes them feel stupid for thinking that you're thinking that way, and it kind of puts them into question the way. It's fucking amazing how that stuff works.
No, it changes your reality. That's why I'm here with the 3 girls.
And what was that other book that I got to pick up today?
Ask the Dust, John Fante.
After the Dust?
Ask the Dust.
Ask the Dust.
It's quick. It's a good read.
I'm gonna read it. You better leave your number because I'm gonna yell at you if it sucks.
All right, done.
I'm kidding. Neil Strauss, come back.
All right,
man.
thanks, guys. That was a blast.
Right on. We had a good time.
Thanks, man.
And I think we're heading out. Do we have to give the Carson's ribs out?
You don't have to. You can.
Oh, look, we look cool in front of Neil Strauss, and now we got to give ribs out. Who wants ribs out there? We'll give it to the black guy. Oh, yeah. We'll give the ribs to the black guy today. Carson's ribs, brother. All right? Carson's Ribs, mouth-watering meals from America's premier barbecue restaurant, delivered right to your door in a safe and sophisticated cooler. It's a guaranteed fantastic meal with no fuss. To order, call 888-999-RIBS. And check this out, Neil Strauss. Ribs.com they got.
I'm in.
Perfect, right? Carson's Ribs. You get a $100 gift certificate for ribs. That's it for us today.
You,
or not.
got laser sight on your bedroom gun?
No, do you?
Yeah.
I don't think they're not that accurate, though.
You know what, though? Close range,
Right.
I feel that it's better if you're just waking up and groggy.
Right.
Iron sights are a little rough with your eyes like that. If you could just point that laser and let her rip. I'm not talking, 50 yards away.
Right. Go to
I'm
the
talking right there at the door to your room. Someone's coming in.
I just got some good night sights on a practice night shooting at this place called the Gun Sight Academy in Arizona.
Yeah.
You can do it in your sleep when you're done.
What's your what's your favorite handgun?
I like the Springfield XD.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have a HK 40. That's a great carry gun.
Great gun.
But then the night table gun is a 45.
Yeah, it's got to be a 45.
Yeah. You don't know what the hell's coming through the door.
No, it'll take him down.
Yeah. Goodbye. Love
Cool.
it.
Why'd you guys fucking
Love
build
it.
a bunker together?
Yes.
You're soulmates.
We'll talk after.
All right, man. Thank you very much.
See you guys.
Again, Emergency. This book will save your life. Neil Strauss. Thanks so much. Another fine program.
I'll say.
Yes. Be back. Same bat time, same bat channel.
Go screw.
All right, man. Later.